welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We have the latest quarterly results from Analog Devices. This is the business story behind one stock on a move. The stock is moving. I'm Cory Johnson, Chief Market Strategist for the Futurum Group here in glamorous Los Angeles. It's not going to slow me down. No way. Because we've got the business story behind this one stock on the move. And yes, Analog Devices at Q3 earnings, they were good, I guess. I mean, better than they had been for a while. Wall Street likes a beat or a miss, and this was a beat. Let's look at the actual numbers here. Company reporting $2.3 billion in revenues, and that's above their guidance. That's better than Wall Street expected. And there's some operating cash flow of $4 billion. We certainly like that. But while the results showed a 25% in revenues on a year-over-year basis, that's a slower decline than they have seen. They've seen declining revenues, and the pace of declining revenues has been, not great. So 25%, they've seen a lot worse the last quarter at least. So it looks like we really have made a turn here. When we look deeper into the business beyond the headline numbers, Analog Devices, what do? Right? They make semiconductors, but specifically analog and digital and software focused semiconductors, a lot of stuff into industrial as well as power management, sensors, actuators, DSP systems, a company based in Massachusetts. Even as the market has really bottomed out for them, and it does appear to have turned, as I mentioned, we'll get to that, they've managed to continue to have operating profit margins, 21% margins in the last quarter. They know how to handle this. And they see these big drivers coming with new sensors in industry, which industrial is their biggest, 46% of their revenues, but digital healthcare, next-gen connectivity, vehicles and in-cabin stuff, all the stuff we enjoy in the airplane that makes the airplane experience so much more pleasurable than it used to be, as well as sustainable energy and, yes, data centers. So industrial is the biggest thing they've got going. Automotive is second to that, followed by communications and consumer. And the industrial business has shown a bounce. Yes, it's down 32% from a year ago, but the pace of decline is not as bad as it was last quarter or the quarter before that. Maybe we really have turned here. And while industrials continue to decline, when you look at all of the kind of stack all their businesses on top of each other, if you look at it sort of from a steady state in kind of percentage terms, what you see is the growing role of automotive, even as industrial components have declined. That's a really good sign because we've been hearing mixed things about automotive coming back, and this is a sign that orders are actually happening here. So when the news came out, stocks up 3%, 30% on the last year, it was pretty much, a little bit better than the S&P 500, but not a fantastic gain. But the biggest issue here is that these kinds of chips don't really grow stale quickly. And so customers, when they can't get chips, over order, and then the company itself is sitting on lots of chips in their own inventory. Well, now they're burning through that inventory. The inventory is down only 3% sequentially, but inventories coming down for this company is a really good sign. And Vince Roche, the CEO of the company, was asked specifically about how do you manage your own inventories to make sure you've got enough for your customers when they want it, but knowing that they've got a lot on the shelves themselves. Here's what he had to say in the conference call.
We pay very, very close attention to what's happening in terms of the end market demand. And, my confidence has increased since last quarter that indeed 2Q was the cyclical bottom. We've exited 3Q with very, very lean channel inventory. We've taken inventory off our own balance sheet, though we're positioned with a very, very healthy backlog of inventory on our own balance sheet so that the anticipated demand upsurge that we expect in 25, we're very, very well equipped and ready to meet that. So, in the fourth quarter, as we've said, we expect to see continued sequential growth. Indeed, we'll also see, I think, particularly in the industrial area, continued improvement on customer inventory levels. So, look, it's all the whole recovery. The ramp of the recovery will depend on the macro situation. But nonetheless, given the design wins, we've a record design win pipeline in the company. So we're facing many, many secular tailwinds with a very strong pipeline, very, very good supply line, and with a very, very lean inventory on the customer's balance sheets.
So understanding the customer's balance sheet, making sure you're ready for a turnaround of the business. It looks like Analog Devices is doing all of those things and really getting ready for much better results in the near future. But what's the one number that really proves this, that tells us the whole story of Analog Devices? Your drill down earnings bite, I will have that for you right after this.
The Drill Down is brought to you by Futurum Group, where analysts, researchers, advisors, content creators, and marketing experts help business leaders anticipate and understand shifts in their industries and build strategies to leverage disruptive innovation. With deep analysis, Futurum Group's extensive industry experience delivers reliable research and data, thought leadership, and actionable advice to help you with your strategy and go-to-market efforts. Futurum Group.
So Analog Devices reporting what's their third quarter, fiscal third quarter results, and they were okay. They were declines, but the declines weren't as worse as they had been. What's the one number that we want to take away from all this? It's not the 25% decline in year-over-year revenue or the fact that 25% is better than the decline they saw last quarter. No, it's the easing of inventory recognized by days of inventory on the shelves of Analog Devices. That number's down to 130 days. It's a lot, but it's also a lot better than it's been for a couple of years for Analog Devices. All right, thanks for listening to Drill Down Earnings. I'm Cory Johnson.